Good evening, everyone. Hope you've had a fantastic day. I'm just jumping on live tonight from my end because I'm meant to be tuning in with one of my friends chatting about health. So I have just started it through my phone, so hopefully that he can join, and I'll just see and then see how that sounds. Okay, so we're just having some difficulties here.
How are we? I can't hear myself, which
Can
is
you
good.
talk?
I mean, I can. Yeah, there's no echo.
Perfect. Then it's not blurry either. Okay, cool. Lights, fire, action.
Fantastic. All right. That's weird. Hey.
So weird. Hey, Steph.
All right.
Hey, Nikki. Thanks for
Yeah.
being, everyone.
Thanks for hanging out and for going through these technical difficulties with you. Fourth or fifth or sixth time lucky.
Yeah, we could just do it forever.
Yeah. I was like, is the universe trying to keep us apart? I don't like it.
Yeah, I know.
How was your weekend?
Oh, amazing. Yeah, just the best. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, yeah, you just went. Tell them about what you just went through.
So for those of you that don't know, Preston and Alexi run a workshop called The Bridge, and anyone can do this, and it's about sort of getting out of your comfort zone and challenging yourself. So the Bridge experience I did 3 years ago, and I absolutely loved it. It made me very aware of how I show up in this world, due to past conditioning and things that have happened throughout my life, and it was really, really eye-opening. And I'd never thought about doing the Bridge Extreme because, like, I'm not really somebody that likes to sort of get out of their comfort zone too full on. Like, I like to do it when I choose, you know. And I knew this was going to be really intense, so I just never thought about it. And then I had a couple of girls that crew for them stay, and they were like, why don't you do it? And I was like, man, I've just got so much going on, so busy. And I was, but nothing as important as choosing yourself. And that's what this whole thing was about, is just how we show up in the world and choosing ourselves first, so then we can best support the other people that we choose to support throughout our lives. So I mean, I couldn't share anything to do the weekend justice. It is something that if you feel the calling on your heart to go, just do it. Make it happen, because it is just life-changing. That's it.
That's so cool. That's so good. And you're one of the first people that I spoke to when starting to do this 30-day go live challenge and starting to do these videos every day. And sort of one of the people that gave me the confidence as well, because you said that you did it basically exact same month last year. You did that same 30-day challenge, and it just got you out of your comfort zone, took you out of your box. And yeah, that sort of gave me a little bit of a warm and fuzzy to actually go and do it as well and get out of my comfort zone and put the pedal to the metal. But it's pretty intense, like from what I hear, this leadership experience. And yeah, like you said, just being able to love yourself completely, so then you can, I guess, go and actually give to others as well from a full cup, is what Preston and Alexia are all about, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sure. So do you want to share as well a little bit about you and sort of what you're up to and where you've been, and yeah, a little bit about what you do for those that don't know you, because a lot of them do already, because you're awesome.
Thanks. I always like to start with my story and why I do what I do, because and it's not, I realized this when it happened, but I think that it definitely is why I am who I am and why I do what I do. Because when I was 9, my granddad died from smoking, and so I watched him pass away from smoking. So I absolutely hated it so much that, yeah, it was just because I saw that him, that killed my granddad, that, you know, like whenever I saw my dad smoke, I'd write him really horrible letters and things like this because it affected me so much. And right then in that moment, I decided, because I didn't want to lose anyone close to me, friends, family, like I just loved everyone so much. I wanted everyone to be around forever. I wanted to learn how we could live forever. And that's where it started. And so, like, my next memory of this was when I was about 13 and 14 years old. I used to get books out from the library on food, and I used to copy. I did a video on this one of my lives, and it's just over there in my bookcase, and I used to just copy out the vitamins, minerals, enzymes, nutrients, antioxidants in every food source of fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and whole foods, because nothing that comes out of a packet or is man-made or synthetic or got chemicals or anything like that does any good for our bodies. So I didn't learn anything about that. It was all self-induced education, and that's what I've been doing my whole life, is just following this calling on my heart to learn about what it takes to be well. And that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, and you do it really well. Like, we met at the retreat that Dee put on the start of this year, and it was the start of this year, wasn't it? Yeah, I think March or April.
Yeah. March.
And it's just, I've said it a few times in different posts, it's just amazing how people that are passionate about what they're doing, they just have this vibrancy about them, this energy that just sort of sucks you in and draws you in. And seeing you and your sister Kelsey as well, just doing what you do, and you could see how much you love it and how much you care about it, and the love that you put into the food that you make. That's a part of what makes it so amazing. It's full on. It was an amazing experience just to watch you guys work, to experience what you guys create as well, because it really is more than just cooking. It's more than just preparing some food. It's really a lot of love and a lot of high vibration that goes into that.
Yeah, well, and I think, like, we're all put on, I believe we're all put on this earth and we've got a gift. We've got something, like our heart is, like, there's something in our heart that we want to do. And throughout our lives, our dreams get crushed, or there's not a job or that, or we don't have the money or the confidence or the whatever to create what we truly want. And so I truly believe that my heart is food. Like, from the youngest age, I was creating food and crafting food. And I mean, I've never used a recipe. I don't use recipes. If I want to make something, I literally just think it and I just make it. And I know that's a gift. Like, I used to just be like, oh my God, yeah, it's so easy. Like, just throw this together, and then you've got this. And people are like, no, oh my God. And I was like, no. And like, I have come to realize now that, yes, it is a gift. And we get to acknowledge these things, because, you know, it's not something that we do. And so I guess, so since I've been acknowledging this gift, because I've had this forever. When I moved out of home when I was 17, I was the cook in the house of 4 guys and myself, and I cooked for us every meal, you know, this and that. I just loved it. Different food back then, of course, mind you. I was plant-based for 3 years. Well, I was a vegetarian my whole life, and I guess that's a big reason why I promote meat. Is I have eaten it throughout my life, so I've definitely sampled it. But the reason why I choose not to eat it is because when we were kids, we had a really amazing childhood, and we had the best life. And this is, I guess, why I've got this deep passion and understanding of this, is because, like, Mum and Dad had an amazing garden, and as kids we'd walk out the backyard and we'd pull carrots out. Mum would wipe them on the grass and be like, eat the dirt, it's good for you. And we'd eat the carrots, we'd pick corn off the cob, beans, peas, tomatoes, everything came out of the garden. But then the other thing is, that's where all of our meat came from too. And then, you know, Dad would kill the chicken. And so as a child, I was very detached from animals and eating, because I ate it, you know, like, as a little kid, I ate it. So I didn't look at a chicken like it was a pet. I looked at it like it was food. And when we moved out to the farm when I was 9 years old, Mum and Dad would get cows, pigs, chickens, ducks, sheep as babies, and we'd name them, teach them how to drink their milk, raise them as our pets, and be like, oh, that's Heidi in the backyard. Oh, that's, you know, rah, rah, rah. And then the butcher would come and kill them. So I was like, that's when I learned, like, there's no freaking way I'm eating my pet, you know? That's one of the reasons.
I was the other way around. Me and my sister, we had our own little pigs, and so we just only wanted to eat our pig. We didn't want to eat each other's.
Are you for real?
You froze it on me. Yeah. You're back now.
Okay, great. Anyway, it's hilarious. Anyway, we've been a bit off topic, but I always do that.
Am I good on your end?
Yeah. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So, gone a bit blurry, but I think we're back now. There's, I guess, the main things I hear people challenged with, other than obviously not having the recipes that you just pull out of your head, which are amazing, is you sort of touched on it before, like not feeling like they don't have the money or just the know-how to start eating healthy, using whole foods, and even what that means as well. So could you, I guess, chat a little bit about where you would start someone off who has not even looked into this or just doesn't know where to start, and what you would say to them?
Well, the most simple way that we can look at it is that we just get to eat whole foods. Foods that is the number one ingredient or the only ingredient. So when we're looking at things like that, there's such an array of foods that we can eat and such an array of things that we can make that we never feel like we miss out. But what we do miss out on when we choose to eat whole, real food is numbers, colours, additives, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, chemical-based fillers, all of these things which are highly toxic to the body, you know. And I guess I must point out that I've come to realize over my life of living health and teaching and just being health is that I don't really think about the short-term thing. Like, it's not about how I am right in the minute. It's about how I'm going to be when I'm 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years old, because that's when matters, you know. That's when I've created a life that I love. That's when I've got a family. That's when I've got, like, you know, I'm set up. I've created all that I desire. That's when I want to be living it. You know, the way I mean, I'm a real observer. And my personal opinion is that, like, I look out and nearly every single person I know takes a pharmaceutical drug every day for a headache or an infection or some antibiotics on a monthly basis, or they're taking, they've got something wrong with them, long-term drugs, long-term disease, long-term issues, you know. All of these things can be prevented by the way we choose to live our life. And, like, I've spent my life learning about that, and everyone I follow, like all my mentors, and, you know, we all have people that inspire us and motivate us to sort of to carry on with our dreams, and everyone that I follow is just so strong in that, you know, we create health, you know, and we just can't live this life of thinking, oh well, it's just what happens, or oh well, I'm too busy to eat whole food, you know. Like, it couldn't be easier. Literally, sometimes I'm in that much of a hurry, all I do when I leave the house is grab 3 or 4 pieces of fruit, and I'm sweet as till lunchtime or whatever, you know. Or I make a smoothie the night before made out of real food. There's no powders and artificial colors and anything out of a packet. It's all just out of the fridge or the cupboard, and one ingredient. We know exactly what it does to our body, and we know exactly what it's in it. Like, simple. So I think my answer to your question is whole food. One ingredient. And you're nailing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Can you give us some maybe some examples of some people you've worked with recently and just the transformations that you've seen them go through and some of the stuff you've done with them? Sort of put you on the spot
Okay,
there.
well, no. So the first one that comes through to me is someone that I've been working with for years. She's been a real long-term client of mine. I've also worked as a personal trainer for 13 years, and I currently still do. So like I have my sort of foot in the door with all aspects of well-being. And so I've trained her for maybe 4 or 5, maybe even 6 years now. And, you know, sometimes she's consistent, sometimes she's not. The start of this year, she joined my Cleanse and Detoxify Your Body Naturally program. And so I've ran that 6 times this year, and it usually goes for 14 days. And every single time she has recommitted. Sometimes there's been something she's fallen off the bandwagon, then she's come back on, and next time she's given it another shot, something else has happened. But she keeps recommitting. And this is the thing that I believe is health. Health is a journey. There's no quick fix, quick pill, no miracle cure. It's not going to be better in a day. It's a way you have to choose your life every single day. And so I guess for me, that's the people that I work with is these people that it's just the way they're choosing to adopt life now, you know, is coming into recommitting to choosing themselves, recommitting to choosing their health, and looking after themselves. And I just ran a 5-day challenge. She absolutely aced it, you know. And the thing is it wasn't any 5-day water fast or anything extreme. She simply chose to eat more fresh food, have a juice each day, really basic stuff. It was what she chose for herself. But it wasn't even about what she ate, because the way that she showed up today, the ladies at training were like, you look really happy. You've got a smile on your face. Like, what are you so happy about? Because deep down within, she had chosen herself, she'd made a commitment, she'd made a change, and she'd never felt better, you know? So
100%.
Yeah.
There's too many examples of people doing that to ignore it now.
Sorry, what was that?
So there's too many examples now of people that are just getting ridiculous, and it's not even about getting ridiculous results. It's just there's too many people that have transformed their lives, transformed their health, overcome ailments and different diseases and things that are uncurable or at certain levels that point to just how amazing it is. And I guess with her being and going through that transformation was sort of leads me into the next question as well, is and deep diving into a bit more detail about the energy and the vibrations and just the frequency at which different foods affect our body and just our livelihood as well, and just your understanding and sort of sharing a bit on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the easiest way I've always found to explain it and to share it is that living food feeds our living cells, and our body is literally made up of cells, and this is what we need to be looking after. We don't need to be looking after our skin or, you know, like, because deep down when we look after our cells, that works on the skin, you know. So when we're eating living foods, we're feeding our cells, so everything becomes live, vibrational. We've got energy, and it's so straightforward. But if we eat anything out of a packet or highly fried or over processed or mass produced, commercial, all of these sorts of things, it's destroyed, you know. 9 times out of 10 it's got all of these additives and chemicals and stuff like that, which is like a poison to our body. Our bodies don't recognize it because it's completely foreign. So then we're somehow trying to get the nutrients out of this dead, chemically made or artificially made food. Like it destroys the cells, you know, so it shuts our bodies down. And this just happen overnight. You know, it's not like you could probably eat this way. And this is the thing, like our bodies are so freaking amazing. I mean, I know people that only eat food out of a packet, that don't eat vegetables, that've never drank water in their life, and they're still alive. And I'm like, I've got no idea how. But that is just like, that's just so how incredible our bodies are.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's amazing. I think Kirlian photography was the first thing that really caught my attention to really understanding the energy that living things and food and plants have in them as well.
Yeah, like the magnetic field that comes off it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like everything living and alive has a vibrational frequency that is still within it. Anything that is dead or has anything done to it no longer contains that. You know, so it's so basic. I mean, and that's why I'm just like, how could you choose to eat that food out of a packet all the time? Or how could you be eating just that, like, dead shit all the time? Like, do you not feel like you're about to fall asleep on your feet? Nah. Maybe that's why I've always got so much energy.
And the answer is yes. But,
pardon?
Yeah. It's like you can't unlearn certain things, and they say ignorance is bliss. So it's until when you sort of understand all this stuff, it's just a no-brainer. It's like going to sleep every night, brushing your teeth every day, having a shower, and just treating yourself and your vessel like a temple.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's it. My way of thinking is like, well, we have to eat every day. You know, we all want something within our body. We all have these desires, whether they're superficial or they're realistic, you know. And the superficial for me is like, oh, I want to lose weight. Because realistically, if we want to lose weight, it's freaking easy to lose weight. You just have to commit to it. The problem with people wanting to lose weight and actually achieving is they don't commit to what they want. And they keep letting all the excuses and everything get in the way. And that's it. You know, it's so freaking simple. So I'm like, if you want anything, you can have that. You just get to choose it. You know, like these official things like, you know, your weight loss and as opposed to people who have health conditions that need to be healed. And if you've been told that you have a health condition, you've got anything wrong with you, or you're taking drugs for something, then that's probably a good sign that you need to do some deep healing within. Focus on making yourself a priority, your body a priority, and focus on your self-care, because there is no other way you're going to be able to heal. And that brings me back to the thing that I always share is we have to eat. Like, I love not eating, you know, like, not that I do it much, but, you know, when I do my cleanse and detoxify your body naturally programs, I love juicing and I love water fasting, because I've done it so much now. The way that it makes me feel, like I would love to just water fast my life if I knew that I could feel like that every day. But it's a bit unrealistic, you know. So I'm like, well, we have to eat anyway, so why not choose the food that's going to make us feel our best every day?
Yeah, I like what you said before about thinking of it as far as just the particles in your cells, instead of trying to make your skin look better or lose weight or do any of those super things. Just treat cells vibrating at such a high frequency and feeding them with the best possible energy that you possibly can. And then from there, glowing skin, you will lose weight. You will have all these things just as a byproduct of the way they're meant. Yeah. Where they can find you and what you're up to, and ways that they can work with you, personal training. Or I know you work well with your oils as well. Can you see me?
Okay, so I can see you. Bag. Yeah, so well, we're actually sharing this from my Facebook page. So if you're on my Facebook page, then you know where to find me. Otherwise, feel free to add me as a friend if you're coming through MATY.B's network. Yeah, I don't have a website or anything like that at the moment. I'm sort of just waiting until I feel called or my next business. I did own a cafe and also a gym in the past, so I'm just taking a little bit of a break from sort of that needing to be or have anything, and just to, or needing to do and have anything, and just to be where and enjoy at the moment. But yeah, so the other things that I do is that I run a regular cleanse and detoxify and body naturally program. So if you do want to join us for that, it's really, really affordable. It's a one-off payment. You get a 1.5 hour webinar about detoxing, who should do it, why you need to do it, some variations in 10 different levels. There's lots of recipes in there. I've got smoothies, juices, a recipe book. And every time we run that program, you can join us, and I'm present in there for 14 days, sort of sharing how it's going and just there to answer your questions. So that's one way. And then the other way is that I also use essential oils. So I use essential oils alongside food to support the body to heal. And I've been using those for the last 5 years. And since then, I mean, I haven't taken antibiotics in over 15 years, but I definitely haven't used anything since I've had the oils, and that's on sort of everyone I know. So it's pretty amazing. They're just so, so powerful, and pure extracts from plants. So I feel totally safe putting them anywhere near my body. And I also run workshops. So just stay in touch with my Facebook page or message me, and I'll let you know. But I love teaching people how to live this way of life. So running workshops or making your own cleaning products, cooking demonstrations, and yeah, next year I'll be getting into doing some various other things as well. But next year is a really big year for me catering retreats. So if you or anyone you know wants the most amazing plant-based food, then let me know. I'd love to help. It's it.
Would you be open? Yeah, fuck yeah, I love it. And definitely everyone that's watching or watching the replay, get onto Dayna. I just basically want to be super successful so I can hire you as my personal trainer, cook, and health specialist. Just 100%. Need someone like you by my side. So that's why I love sharing your story with everyone. I guess to send us out, would you be open talking about your partner's healing process and what you went through with that, or?
Yeah, right now.
If you're open to it.
Yeah, okay. Well, so it has been quite the journey, and it's still ongoing at the moment. But yeah, last year when we were in Bali, last May, he had a scooter accident where he came off the scooter and yeah, had his head onto a concrete wall before he fell into a waterway, and fractured his skull in 9 places, and broke his collarbone, and had air on the brain, and parts of his skull had punctured his brain. So he, yeah, I didn't get to him until 7 hours after the accident, and then he'd been just sitting in the hospital, and he just, to look at him, he just had a massive cut here and here, and the sort of side of his head was just caved in, you know, but it wasn't too bad. It was sort of, I didn't really realize sort of how bad it was until we got to see the scans, because in the scans, when you only see the skull, it's like one side was normal and the other side was sort of completely crushed in, you know. And so when you looked front on the scans and sideways on the scans, you could see the damage in the head that you couldn't see with your own eyes. So it was pretty full on. But yeah, so yeah, he had 3 surgeries at once when we were in Bali that night, and then he was in intensive care for 3 days, and then he was in hospital for 3 days there as well. And while he was there, he was just on literally absolutely everything, you know, all the IV, everything. When we left the hospital, so 7 days after the accident, he had 14 different drugs. So he was on antibiotics, he was on infections, he was on brain drugs, he was on stomach drugs, because he'd been having so many drugs for so long that his stomach acid was so strong that he couldn't actually eat or anything like that. So they had to give him another drug to mask the stomach bile, you know. And then it was just 101 different things. And so yeah, we had to stay in Bali for another sort of maybe 5 days until his swelling had gone down in his head and he was allowed to fly. And then yeah, we came back to Australia, and so ever since being back in Australia, we have managed to not once have a single pharmaceutical drug since his accident. After 10 days after the accident, I actually was able to replace every single pharmaceutical drug after researching what they were there for and what the uses and the side effects were. I was then able to replace it with something natural. And you know, it's not something that I recommend anyone doing. I will let you know this is by far something that I have spent my life looking at, researching and understanding. It is not something that I take lightly, and it is not something I recommend that other people do. But it definitely can be done, and I 150% believe in it, and that's why I live my life like I do. And so yeah, and so since then I've just been able to use every single thing natural. He was absolutely fine for a year, and then he just had this hole in his head come out, and a piece of bone came out, because the surgeon did tell me that there was leftover pieces of brain skull in there, but his whole head had been plated. And so this bone sort of made its way out, and I know that it can happen, like it definitely does. I've heard of many stories of foreign objects making their way out of people's body, and it's phenomenal. Like, the body is incredible. That's why I've just have so much belief in the fact it can heal itself, because it's just so awesome. So then that happened, and then we were able to use and so literally I have just used natural antibiotics. I've been to homeopaths. He's going to the neuroskeletal. He's got maybe 7 people supporting him, all using natural remedies, and he's just still healing. So I mean, the thing is we have gone through the medical route. You know, we went and got scans to see if there's anything there, what's going on. We've had it all tested to see if there's any bacteria, viruses, anything like that. They've got no idea. The only solutions that they can offer, which is probably not what we're going to be choosing, is that he gets his head cut from here to here and his skin pulled forward, and then all the metal plates taken out of his head, and then have a look to see what could possibly be going on, and then put the head back together like that with no plates. So he's got no face structure, and then, you know, go in for another surgery in 6 to 8 or 10 months, you know, and that's not really an option, you know, with just to have little thing like a little pimple like thing going on that sort of, it healed for a good month and a half, and then it's now been flared up again for a while, you know. But anyway, so that's it. Like, you know, I mean, I'm just not, like, it's been such a learning curve for me, and I'm still in the process, so it's kind of quite challenging to talk about, because it's kind of like, we don't know what is going to happen. We don't know what the outcome's going to be. We don't know where to from here. All I know in my heart is that for my whole life I have been learning and experimenting with what health is and what health means, and not once have I ever been inclined to go down destroying the microbiome of the gut with unnecessary antibiotics, cutting into a body for exploratory surgery without knowing what's really going on, or anything along that path. So yeah, who knows? That's it. I'm just at this, but yeah, that's it. So yeah, I just know what and this is the thing, I also remember that it's not my body either. So this is like, these are my opinions and this is what I would do. I guess the reason why we're still doing what's working so far is like Sam has chosen himself not to have the surgery, because he's not got no headaches, no issues. You know, he hasn't worked for 6 weeks, but he's now working again. So it's not like it's totally, you know, he's a crumbling mess. He's fine. You wouldn't even know. Like, you'd just be like, oh, have you got a pimple? But it's a little more than that, you know? So, yeah, that's where we're at. So it's just a journey. But I guess, you know, like, there's so many ways we can look at it. Oh, poor him. This happened, that happened. Like, oh, just go to the doctor. It's been 6 weeks. Just go and get it cut out. Go and, you know, and all of this. But it's like, this is my, no. And the other thing is it's like, wow, this is, you know, this is a test, isn't it? It's a test to see how incredible the body is, giving it every support system that is out there for natural healing. So when we conquer this, we will conquer all.
That's absolutely, and cause to celebrate. And that's why I guess, I know it is still pretty close to home because it's still a process you guys are going through, but I just think that it's an amazing example of how a lot of people can speak a big game and give great advice, but there's not many people out there really willing to lead a good example. But you're just one of the people that I really admire and look up to, who live their passions, follow their heart, follow their purpose, and actually put their money where their mouth is. And I just think you're an amazing example for people to follow and for people to look up to. And there's not enough women, especially out there, as role models and as leaders. And I just really wanted to share you with the world and to get you out there so more people can see your example as well. So you inspire me, and I know that you're going to inspire heaps of others as well.
Thank you. That's so beautiful. Thanks, Maddie. You're awesome.
Cool. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with your network or mine, or anything else that you'd like to leave them on before we close up tonight?
No, I think that's it, eh? Yep.
Cool.
All done for me.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much. See you soon, eh?
See you,
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.